Welcome everyone to the Goods & Co. podcast. My name is Isaac Matthews and I am your host. Here on the podcast, we share the stories of local businesses and artists in the Northwestern Ontario region of Canada, proudly supporting ventures owned by members of the LGBTQ, BIPOC, and women-led communities. Today's episode is brought to you by the new Woodside Bar, located in the Goods & Co. Market, downtown Thunder Bay, bringing you crafted cocktails and a curated wine and beer menu to suit all taste buds. Follow along on Instagram at the Woodside Bar. That again is at the Woodside Bar. All right, Matej, thank you so much for joining us on the Goods & Co. podcast. We're so excited to have you here. Very unique, very special thing that you are doing. So we like to talk about the artists and their stories here on the podcast. We want to know how you got, well, first of all, how you got to Thunder Bay, because as everyone will hear very shortly, you're clearly not from Thunder Bay, and how you got into doing what it is you are doing. So yeah, tell a bit about yourself, your story, and how you got here.
So yeah, that's right. I have an accent. I originally come from Slovenia, and my wife is Canadian from Thunder Bay. So we met while she was studying in Europe, and then one thing leads to another. Somehow we got married, and then we stayed there for a while. And then she got a job opportunity in Vancouver. So we moved to Vancouver, and we were there for almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then Vancouver is just not the place that it's represented to be. So we decided to move somewhere else, and decided to try out Thunder Bay because she's from Thunder Bay. So this is how we ended up here. And now it's my third year, going into the fourth year in Thunder Bay.
Nice. And you had mentioned when we were chit-chatting about when you were in Slovenia, you actually interviewed her you were doing a radio show, I believe?
Yeah, I was working at the time as the national television and radio, same as the CBC here. So I had my morning show, and as part of that, I interviewed my wife at the time and about her. She was doing an innovative postcards project and having a workshop. And I said, that's interesting. Let's go check it out. And
nice. This
is how we met.
Love it. First interview.
Exactly.
So you make your way to Thunder Bay, and clearly you're working within the furniture, household item kind of space. Is this something that you had been interested in your whole life, or was this kind of a new idea that came to you through your travels, or how did you get into starting to make furniture?
So basically, I like design, I like furniture, and it's something as I've been always interested in. And even in Slovenia, I had a little design studio with two friends, and we were designing, one-off pieces, smaller productions, and at some point we designed a wooden speaker for smartphones called Trobla. Mm-hmm. We put it on Kickstarter. We're very successful with it, and that was kind of the start of my business in product design and furniture, right? Mm-hmm. And then since I moved to Canada, I wasn't really able to do much until I came to Thunder Bay. So then I started working on, okay, let's see if we can make it a business out of this my passion interest. So I started doing some prototypes with the help of the innovation center, and then those prototypes turned into something more concrete, and okay, let's make a business plan, and I got help from CDC to get a grant to buy material and do the first run, and now one thing led to another. So basically now I run Tok Tok as a company.
Awesome. And what is you have a very distinctive style for the things that you're creating. What are some of the inspirations maybe, or style design inspirations that you draw from in the creation of your furniture?
So the furniture Tok Tok makes, it's basically designed first of all how it functions and how it is utilized in people's homes. So it has to be functional, easy to assemble, minimal, don't be bulky and oversized and all this kind of stuff. And it's made primarily by plywood, and it's made in Thunder Bay, which I think it's an amazing value, being able to make such a intricate and demanding product as a lounge chair, for example, in Thunder Bay for an affordable price.
Right.
The aesthetic parts we based heavily on the Scandinavian furniture, which is world renowned and known as like the legendary design classics, because they are just so nice to look at, and they are evergreen, right? So
absolutely,
this is where we draw most of the inspiration for it.
Amazing. And your company Tok Tok, how long have you been? I guess you said you've been in Thunder Bay for 3 years. How long have you been selling products now?
We basically launched middle of March, so it's fresh, but there was like almost a year and a half lead up to there,
right? Of course,
setting up production and finding material and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and this is March 2020, so right as COVID is hitting the earth.
yeah, March 2021.
2021. Oh, so this year. Oh,
yeah.
So just launched.
Just fresh,
oh, amazing. I love
sure.
that. So this will be new information for a lot of the people listening to this podcast, which is awesome. I know this is fresh and probably a early question to ask, but how has the response been from this community so far with what you're doing?
We had quite a bit of response, in the sense that people are really commenting and writing like, oh, this is awesome, this is amazing. The sales are not something we can write home about yet.
Yeah, right.
But it takes time, there are like items that cost a bit more. It's furniture, people like to touch it and sit on it, try it out, and this is something that because of COVID it's not possible right now.
Right, of course.
So we launched it like locally in Thunder Bay in March, and we had a few sales, which is encouraging, and now we're just like preparing a bigger marketing plan for like larger audiences, and so we're working towards that. So it's step by step. First thing, we wanted to make sure we can make them. Then we did a production run. First products are out, and now it's just a matter of like marketing it, and then developing more products.
Amazing, yeah. And I will go on record for anyone watching or listening to this podcast that I have sat in the lounge chair, and it is ridiculously comfortable. I was very, very, very impressed with the product. So you mentioned a couple of times the name of the company is Tok Tok. Can you explain what that means or what the relevance is of Tok Tok?
So when thinking about the name, we were thinking like, how can we have a name that's a bit unique and has some meaning behind it? So Tok Tok is basically, it's the sound that you hear when you knock on wood. And knocking on wood it's old custom from like ages ago. People knock on wood to bring to get rid of bad luck or to bring luck, right? So they awaken the spirits that live in the wood. This is the basically custom.
Okay.
And the interesting part of it is like almost every culture has it, right? It's Tok Tok is the sound, and like I know that most European countries say Tok Tok, English speaking say knock knock. Right. So it's like it's something that's always there. So we wanted to have that connotation to our products, something that it's warm, it's wooden, why not? Brings you luck. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. I love that there's that story behind it. I love that. So this company you started just recently, getting into the kind of the beginnings of this. Is the plan to eventually kind of turn this into a full-time thing? I know you'd kind of mentioned the fact that you've got a day job and this is kind of somewhat of a hobby now. Is the intention to grow this into something that will be a full-time gig for you?
Yeah, for sure. That's the end goal, right? To be not working, but working, doing something you love,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
But it will take some time. That's for sure. I didn't anticipate it to be right away. We need to develop the market, tap into it properly, and the production capabilities are here to do that. And also, I'm really looking forward to be at that point where we can start hiring people and do more stuff and more interesting stuff at our own space. And right now we are set up so that we can ship basically all over Canada.
Okay.
Next step will be shipping all over North America, so we can, in theory, reach all those markets, right? So the growth is there. We just need to, as I said, tap into the market with a proper marketing tools.
Of course, yeah. And that would be amazing too, to be shipping product out of Thunder Bay to the rest of North America. Would be really neat.
Yeah, and the furniture is flat packed, so that means that like a lounge chair comes in a really small box, and shipping for it, for example, if I want to ship it all the way to Percé in Gaspésie in Quebec on the Atlantic Ocean, it's $40.
Oh wow.
Or to Vancouver, it's $40. So it's like shipping is like so inexpensive compared to other furniture. So that's, I think it's also like what can be an advantage to it.
Absolutely. And it's not just chairs you're making. Do you want to touch on what else you're
creating? So we started with a chair because it's something that we wanted to try to do, because it really tests the production. It's Making a chair is always really complicated because there's so many and components to it. There is, it has to be comfortable, it has to be sustaining, and it has a lot of parts to it. So we've done that as a long chair successfully, and it has an ottoman as well, basically a bench that comes with it. And we've done a stool, like a little stool that you can be used for everything, as a nightstand, side table, a stool for sitting, a stepping stool, like a multi-purpose object. So those are our first products, and we already actually just a few days ago we made the first prototypes of a coffee table, of a shelving system, and floating shelves. So we are moving forward and trying to put more products on the website and make it more interesting that way as well.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And is there anywhere that you are excited to start experimenting in terms of, because you try and do all of household items or whatnot, is there anything in your vision that you want to try and experiment with?
Do you know the Muji, the Japanese brand? Are you aware of it?
I don't know.
So it's a brand that makes household items, like a Japanese IKEA, but better quality.
Okay.
So they started by doing like little household items, then they transitioned into furniture and other stuff. Now they're making prefab houses.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
one
amazing.
day if I'm there, I'll be extremely happy.
A Tok Tok house.
Exactly.
That would be awesome. Just order a flat pack house.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it sent to you.
It's sent to you, yeah.
That's lovely. And I love, again, like I said before, that would be something that is shipping out of Thunder Bay, putting Thunder Bay on the map as kind of a hub of where you can get great design and great furniture and household items.
Thunder Bay is such a supportive environment for starting a business as well. Like the infrastructure here, it's amazing. Like I was living in Vancouver and nothing similar there, and everybody says Vancouver is such an entrepreneurial city. Yeah, if you're making apps at your little room that you're renting for $2,000 a month, then yeah. But if you want to do any other thing, it's Thunder Bay is fantastic, and the level of skills and ingenuity that's here, I'm just amazed. Like people can do everything here, and that's really a big value.
Yeah, and it's awesome that the community behind the support of local and small business is huge. And I was actually speaking to another person on a podcast recently about this, with the I guess invention, or at least the wide spread of the internet. It's so much easier to find a location like Thunder Bay where you are supported and comfortable, and it's not unrealistic to live and survive, and then leveraging the internet to really take advantage of what can happen.
And the pandemic actually speeded up this process right now. Everybody's buying online, even like boomers starting buying online, they're buying everything online. So everybody's getting accustomed to that. So yeah, that's the internet. It's making everything closer, right?
Yeah.
In a place like Thunder Bay that people consider far away from everything, right?
Putting it on the map. I love
putting it on the map, right?
And speaking of COVID, has that affected you at all? Have you run into any issues because of the pandemic, or has it been advantageous to you maybe?
Well, yes and no, because things are moving a bit slower, which gives us time to think about stuff and correct mistakes before they become bigger.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I know that we waited for material like plywood for like 3 to 4 months because it's just the supply chain was so disrupted. And then, as I mentioned, like it's good to have like an exhibition space or a pop-up or something where people can go and test the furniture and see it for themselves, like in person. So that's a really element that it's missing because of COVID, and I'm really looking forward for the pandemic to be over. So for multiple reasons, but that's one of them.
Yeah, you and me both, absolutely. And I know that you chit-chatted with May. Hopefully we'll be able to see some of Tok Tok's products within the market. I think that'd be an awesome space. People can kind of touch the items or sit on them or whatnot. Hopefully we'll be able to see you in there.
Yeah, the Goods & Co, it's an amazing thing. I think it will make the downtown way better. And if I can have a part with that, then that'll be, I'll be grateful for that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be looking for you. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you in terms of getting their hands on some of your products or connecting with you in any way, what's the best way for them to do that?
So the best way is just to hop on our website. It's Tok Tok Home, toktokHome.ca. All the contact is there too. We are on Instagram at @TokTok_home, and that's the best way to reach us and see our products.
Amazing. Matej, thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited to see all the products that come out of Tok Tok. Again, I will link all of the websites and Instagrams into the bios of the YouTube channel and the podcast. So please check them out. Contact Matej if you want something for your own home. And thank you again for joining us. This has been awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you everyone so much for joining us for this episode of the Goods & Co podcast. We have several local entrepreneurs lined up for this season of the Goods & Co podcast, so make sure to subscribe and be notified when new episodes are released. Once again, this episode was brought to you by the new Woodside Bar opening this fall inside the Goods & Co market downtown Thunder Bay, serving up curated cocktails, delicious wines, and craft beers. Follow along on Instagram at The Woodside Bar. That handle again is at The Woodside Bar.